Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm so excited. Hey, hi, Jason. How you doing? Hey, Jason, can you help me out today and keep track of all the location check-ins? I'm not going to have time to do that during the live with Joel. And if you could keep a list and I can add it to the later. Hey, Tim Decker, how are you? Tim Decker's logging on. He's going to be our special guest coming up in a couple of weeks. So, Tim Decker, I'm just so glad that you're here with us today. Tim Decker, the retired Disney and Simpson artist, a professor now in Chicago. Tim, you can send me a text about your Chicago Art Institute, right? Hey, Carissa, good to see you. We're waiting for Joel Gori to come on. Where are you, Joel? Joel, where are you? Okay, Joel's supposed to be coming on right now. Where are you, Joel? I'm going to pause you guys and give him a call. All right. We we're waiting. We're trying to see if we get Joel on. We did a practice run, but he and I are having some tech challenges, so we'll see. We had it working. Hi guys, go ahead and let's do some location checks while we're waiting for Joel Gori to come on. Let's see. All right, waiting for Joel here. Very exciting. Hey, Germany. Good to see you. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Germany. And we have Istanbul. Hi, Istanbul. And hi, Denmark. Hi, Canada. Hi, Germany. And hi, Texas. How did I met him? I met Joel. Hello, Patty in Oregon on Facebook. Joel Gori, he's here. All right, Joel. I need you to request the share screen, Joel. Request to put that little request to share or request live or something. There's some kind of request. You did it before earlier today. Hello, Missouri. Hello, Missouri. Hey, hello, Joshua up in Massachusetts. Hi, Matt, Joshua. We have Virginia. We have Jason in Virginia. Joel, the little camera button down below. Click that little button. Hi, Robert Newstead. Masschussetts. All right, let's see if Joel can come on here. Joel, you're here. You send a text, Joel, if you're having difficulty. There's a little camera down below. Let's see here. Maybe I can send you, Joel. Hey, Joel, I'm going to send you a request. Let's see if I can do it from my end. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go live with you, Joel. Let's see if that works. Well, that's not working. Isn't this exciting, you guys?
Hey.
Oh, hey. Okay, 1 second here. Hey! Yay! I'm so excited. We have Joel Gori on. I'm so excited. I'm breaking the song. Okay, so here, actually, you know what we'll do is I'll do this switch around here. Okay, boom. All right, get me, and you get my dog's little chewing rag back there. There's Secret City book. So hey, hi guys. You see my empty studio. I'm still settling in. Joel, it's great to see you. Hello, hello. I'm going to give everybody's giving hearts. So far, Joel, to see you, oh my dear friend and co-star from 1985, The Secret City. We got some stories we're going to talk about. We have Virginia, Massachusetts, Istanbul, on YouTube and Facebook. All right, so there's Joel, everybody, on Facebook and YouTube. Hi, Joel, wave. There he is. Okay. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're logging in from around the planet. I'm so glad you're here today. I'm just tickled pink, Joel, to have my dear friend and co-star from the 1985 The Secret City. Joel played several characters in The Secret City. He created, I'll move this up so you guys can see it. He played Zebtron the robot, and he down here you can kind of see he did Metaman. We have some stories about that. That was an ill-fated character. he kind of disappeared into the mist. He was on, I don't know, how many episodes was Metaman on? Like 5?
I think maybe more than that, but he never got really developed or very interesting.
Yeah. So we kind of just, you know, I guess the way we faded him out, we just stopped writing bits for him.
Yeah.
But the really fun one was Cindy the Dragon and Zebtron, and we talked a lot about that during the PBS show. So someone's asking us how we met. Do you remember how we met, Joel?
I met you in Maryland when the first day of shooting, or the first few meetings. Yes, I don't think you were there when I auditioned. I'm sure you weren't, but I met you right before we started taping the show.
Yeah, I remember that we did the kind of like the college student camp out for the 2 months of the show. John Price, you and we actually shared a condo. That was
right.
Remember that? And
yes.
it was really fun. You know, John, you and me all in one space. It was crazy. And then the first time I met you, I had just arrived from driving cross country to do the show. And that's been after about a year of the selection process and creating the show with John Price. So I got to meet you the first time there. We sat on the lawn outside the condo.
Exactly.
Remember that?
I remember it as clear as day.
Yeah, we sat there in the lawn.
Yes.
And I knew that I liked you immediately. You were just so funny. And you're so irreverent. John was saying, okay, well, let's identify our roles. And so John said, okay, so I'm the director and I'm the executive producer. And my name is John Price, like, you know, doing a circle. And then he goes, this is Mark, and Mark's the star of the show. And Joel, you just rolled, wow, remember that? You were laying on, you were like kicking your feet in the air, like, oh my God, the star. It was so funny. Right then I knew that I would be able to be myself around you.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we clicked right away. I felt very comfortable with you. I just remember thinking, here is a 19-year-old visual artist that now has to carry the show, and all the responsibility that you had, and all the work you had to do. I just remember thinking, I probably couldn't have done that at 19. Yeah, it was pretty. You're pretty amazing. Not trying to build up your ego, but it was pretty amazing, all the responsibility that you had to come up with lessons and the ongoing mural and trying to figure out what the show is going to be about, because we did really fly by the seat of our pants.
Yeah, we really, we had a general idea, but we just kind of we threw spaghetti to the wall and saw what stick, you know. And
No sugar
so we
whatsoever.
have some
No,
questions
just
here.
like
So um, oh, there's a lot of interesting questions here. Jason wants to talk. There's how we met. Oh, we have India, by the way. Hello, India. India just joined us. Um, tell us about Cindy the Dragon, and then you can tell us about Zebtron.
uh, uh, well, yes, there was no real defined characters whatsoever, except there was a humanoid named Zebtron. There was a giant dragon by the name of Cindy. You would only see her.
There's
her
the arms. Do more of the voice because people are wanting to hear Cindy's voice. All right, guys, I have to tell you that there's Cindy the Dragon for you guys that's for YouTube and Facebook. Now I have to tell you that Joel played both this character Zebtron, right? He was Zebtron and he was Cindy the Dragon, and so there was during one show we did 3 shows a day. We got up to 3 shows a day. I think one day we even did 4 shows, which was insane. But we Joel would jump between his characters very quickly, so he didn't have time to change between Zebtron and Cindy the Dragon. So he would just put the green arms over his Zebtron arms, and then he would stand on the ladder behind the mural, and that's where, or the drawing easel. He came into the drawing easel sometimes, and then he would be doing that talk, that blah 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 that talk, and then I just try not to crack up because I'm staring at Zebtron's face with big green dragon arms over the top, and I would improv, which I didn't even know what improv was, but I would try to pretend to have a conversation with you. Remember that?
Right. There was no script. There was no script. It was all improv. It was just spontaneous. And yeah, really always flying by the seat of our pants. I mean, we would talk maybe a little bit about what we might say, but it was all very, very spontaneous. So looking back, it was fun. Going through it, it was a little scary. I mean, after 60-some minutes, we did it 65, 64 episodes.
65 episodes, right?
Yeah, I mean, the very beginning, it was terrifying. I mean, I would spend the night before. You would be like working on the next day show. I'd be working on trying to figure out what to do with those crafts. I would be craft smart. And then eventually we went from crafts to having guests come on, and then I would work with them for the interview. So we got into a routine, but it was a little bit, it was a little bit scary at first.
Right. Yeah. And then tell us about the whole Metaman fiasco.
The initial idea was for it to be based on a TV character, Doctor Strange. Strangelove? Was it Dr. Strangelove? It was, but I wasn't familiar. I didn't know what that really was supposed to be, and the person who had sort of decided what it was no longer involved with the show.
Oh, that's right. Was that Jerry?
Yes. Was Jerry.
Yeah, there's Jerry, the art director who created the set.
Oh, an incredible set with set would do all different kinds of things. It was marvelous, and he had a definite idea, but unfortunately he left right before the show started. So we were really without a showrunner or kind of a creative director. And
that's right. That's right. We were really on our own. We were really out there twisted.
Oh, right. And I had not done very much television. You had not. I mean, you had done so many assemblies, so you were comfortable in being kind of a workshop leader, and you had quite a big personality, So I think that came very natural to you. But you know, it was the first couple weeks. It was like, now what do we do? Is that good? And for me, because this leads into another story, you know, I'm used to live theater. I'm used to uh, doing theater with young people, and it's very kind of interactive. So being in a studio, this big black box with these cameras on you, and no reaction. I mean, no audience to laugh at or you know, feel their energy, was strange. Was very, very strange. And I had no idea if what I was doing. I'll speak about myself. If it was playing very, very well. It was always fascinating to watch you magically create all those beautiful drawings and continue that really, really awesome mural. Um, and but you know, because I remember, well, do you remember when we finally? It was after several weeks, and people started writing in and talking about it. But we were in a parade.
Yes, I remember the parade. But before we talk about the parade, um, I back to that empty black box and how I was so used to working with 500, 700 children at a time at school assemblies, which I still do all year long. I do 100 schools a year.
Wow.
Still, you know, you do too. You do school programs too. Remember when we were getting the letters, the mail, and a lot of the kids would send their school photos with their drawings and their letter to Zebtron and Commander Mark, and I took some of those pictures, and somehow we blew the kids' pictures up, and then we put we expanded them right on a copy machine, and then I remember we taped them. We had 3 cameras in the studio, and we had one camera for the drawing easel. We had one camera for the guest area. We had one camera for the intro area. But during any specific segments, all 3 were trained on me wherever I was, and it was nerve-wracking. So I think it was like your idea to tape these pictures to make them less scary of the kids, and it really helped. I remember that. Do you remember hanging the pictures up there? It was really, you know, just nod your head and say, "Oh yeah, I remember that." Oh yeah,
no,
yeah.
I know, but I remember sharing them, which was a wonderful idea. What a thrill for the children to see their work.
Okay, 1 second here. You froze. Sorry. Well, hold on, Joel. I had to say something. Can you just go ahead and say something, Joel?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're back. You're back.
I'm back.
Okay. Joshua in Massachusetts says, do you actually, either of you, ever sit and really think of the millions of humans you have inspired, the millions that have a better, more creative life because of you?
Gosh. Well, Mark, I know that you get a lot of people coming up to you and saying that, because you know, you're so Mark Kistler. You know, I was just, you know, the talent in front of the camera. But I'll tell you.
Really, you and I, we really, with John Price's, captain, but you and I are the ones who sat in that dressing room every day in the morning, during lunch, and we created this together. We co-created this from a blank canvas, and it was the most extraordinary experience.
Well, I have to tell you what has happened, and it still happens now. I mean, so many years later, I casually mentioned something about that I was on this drawing show, Secret City with Commander Mark, and I will meet people in their 40s, in their 50s now, who said, "Oh, I used to watch it every single day when I came home from school," and like they light up. And I think you have had that experience all through your life since Secret City and through your other shows that you did.
I think that your humbleness and your graciousness is coming through, because I'm so used to you being so humble, but everybody's coming to your emotional defense saying, never say just, your role was crucial. He's Joel. That's just Joel. He's just a very, very sweet, good heart. And we've been friends now ever since Secret City. We've been friends for over 40 years. I mean, he's come out to my house in Texas many times. I've met him and George. Um, just I've been to your home in Pennsylvania, a handful of times, but I intend to come back out there. I want to spend time with you and
Well,
George.
that'd be really nice.
I want to. I
Hey,
mean,
Mark,
being in our senior years now, you know.
hey, Mark, the first time you were living out in California, and I came out, I think it was the very first time, and I've always was afraid of earthquakes. I always was. I'm not really afraid of many things, but I was concerned. And within about 25 minutes of being at your apartment, there was this earthquake.
Oh my God, I remember that.
It was a slight tremor. I don't think anybody else in the room. And he said, it is that a tremor? And they said, oh yeah, it happens all the time. And I think, but I got over it then. I mean, but it was like, yeah, it happened very quickly. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Well, here's a question from Nicholas. Let me see, Nicholas, where are you from? I think Nicholas is from. Are you from France, Nicholas? I think we have France on. I'm not sure. I'm trying to shrink the comment box. Sorry, just one second. Try to get out of here. There's got to be an easy way to do this. I have to figure it out. Sorry. Well, the comments are over your face, and I'm trying to remember how to. Sorry. There's a certain area I can touch the screen. But the question is, what is the most unique fan interaction? Can you think of that? That's probably during the parade, right?
Well, the parade is the funniest thing. So, when you do a parade, it was a big parade. You're on the sort of the back streets, ready to go into join the main sections, whatever section you're going to be in, and we're in this really neat. Was it a Thunderbird? I can't remember. It was a convertible, and you and I are in the back of it. And then on the street, on the sidewalk, were some gentlemen, and it was early in the morning, drinking. Oh, I'm not sure, but something in brown bags, bottles in brown bags, drinking something on the street, and they yelled, "Hey, Commander Mark! Commander Mark! Zebtron!" And I simply turned to him and said, well, now we know who our audience is, you know?
Remember that? Yeah. We were both sitting in the back of that convertible waving to people.
Yes.
And you talked about it on the show. Let's talk a little bit about, and I have some pictures here of when we were in Santa Barbara. We got, this is in like right after the pandemic, right? Where let me see if I got a production shot here of Santa Barbara. And no, these are all from San Diego. Well, we did in Santa Barbara. We did the no. Hold on a second here. In Santa Barbara, we did the interviews for the movie. You know, we talked about it for about a year beforehand, and you were just eloquent and just as handsome as ever on the show, and the movie was it was really a surreal experience, wasn't it? We were sitting there in the so tell us a little bit about your experience flying to Santa Barbara to hang out with me and with Tim Decker, the Disney former Disney artist, former student of the show, with Jack Moore, former viewer, fan of the show from NASA, and Dan Frega, former viewer of the show, huge fan, and then a legacy comic book illustrator with Spider-Man and Batman, Silver Surfer. And then we had Doug DeVore, the actual one of our directors of the Emmy Award-winning television show Imagination Station. So all these, and then Cynthia Kahn, who is now a grandmother, but she was 14 years old during the production of the show, and she came out and she talked about her experience of being the Secret City club member.
Those club members were just such. She and those other students were just had incredible talent, and they were really. It was really marvelous to look at those young people and watch what they could do. Yes. Have you been in touch with any of those young people? They're now probably in their 40s or 50s. Have you had
Oh,
any of
um, I'm really lame at keeping in touch. You know, you were great. You check in with me every month or so, and Robert Newstad is wonderful, our director, and I just I get so wrapped up in you know my little world, but it's really flattering. And we had remember we must have had over 100,000 letters. I mean, physical letters that came in during that scene. Now, tell me, I googled this, and it says that the premiere, we're coming up on the 40-year anniversary of the. But I believe, from I think it says on Google that, I know some, you know, IMBD or something, whatever that the show premiered September 2nd in 1985, I think 40 years ago. But I recall that we started the production in like early June, and then it was started airing within a week of we were airing it right away, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that we had a handful of programs.
Because John Price would come in with mail, and that's, I mean, it was during the summer, so the kids were watching it, you know.
Right.
And
Right.
you were getting Zebtron and Cindy were getting a huge amount of fan mail so quickly too. I remember
Right.
that. And you guys would
Yeah.
talk about the character, talk about what the kids were talking about, you know, seeing if we could adjust our characters. By the way, thank you, Jason. Jason Schiller's given us locations: San Diego, Oregon, Massachusetts, Missouri, Texas. And I can't really read. Denmark, Istanbul, Germany, India, Netherlands, and San Diego, Ohio. Well, thank you for everybody. Give us a location check real quick where you're coming from. We'd like to keep track, and we'd like to get it. I'll post it on our in Ohio. So I had a whole list of questions that I already forgot. I remember we went through a period of not seeing each other for about 10 years. I remember that. And then Kevin Garcia, a friend and a fan from the show, he helped us get in touch again. I was at the Philadelphia Comic Con, and how he set this up that you came in and were able to visit with me. We had dinner, and it was just like old times. It was just like no time had passed. So this is a picture of you and I, and that, look how young we look, dude. And then we kind of made a pact not to let that long go by, because we were just too important in our, you know, in each other's lives. So it's been really wonderful. You know, ever since then we've been really in a constant contact, and it's been, you know, enriching in my life. That's for sure.
Here's a chance to do some summer work together at your camps.
I hope you can. Can you guys hear Joel on Facebook and YouTube?
Do I speak louder?
Yeah, I'm just my phone. What's happening is my camera from my desk is picking up the feed from my phone, so it's not ideal. But you know, they can see you. That's important. Let's talk about the movie production, Santa Barbara. Here's us all getting together here, and you see we had Jack Moore from NASA, old student. Here's Cynthia Kahn. There you are, Joel, back here with your fancy pink shirt and tie. There I am, hiding behind Robert Newstad, our co-creator and executive producer of Imagination Station. Doug DeVore, director of and then there's Tim Decker, the retired Disney artist and animator for The Simpsons. So that was an experience. And then tell me a couple of your memories of doing the movie interviews in Santa Barbara.
Well, I mean, not not slept for like 1 or 2 days because I had to get up at some ridiculous time from in Pennsylvania to fly out there. So I sort of lost a whole day of not sleeping, and then the director, whose wife was having a baby at any second. If you remember that.
Oh, remember that? Any second. Well,
Yes.
it actually, in the middle of production, she's doing the labor, and he had to go, and he was directing it remotely on his iPad from the hospital room. Do you remember
Yeah.
that?
Right, and he wanted to meet with me because he asked me to do all these different things with masks that he had purchased, and then I had brought all this other debris in to do all this strange movement stuff. So we met early in the morning before we start really taping any other interviews, and we worked for an hour or so doing all of that, and then immediately after that I was interviewed by John Newstock because the director had to go to the hospital because his wife was having a baby, and I just remember being so exhausted. I mean, I don't remember very much because I was so exhausted because I hadn't eaten very much. So I remember my blood sugar was crashing, and
That's right.
At the end of the interview, I remember I was like, I think I was delirious. So it came out well, and I should say John edited it really well, or
Yeah.
the director really, really well.
Right.
But I thought, gosh, I hope I didn't make a fool of myself. But
Oh yeah, then he was during the course of the interviews, all of us other participants in the movie, we were kept out in the lobby. Remember, we had lots of little catered food and stuff, and coffee, but for the couple hours that each of the individual were being interviewed, they shut the door and we couldn't go in, and there's absolutely no photography or anything like that, and no posting, social media posting. Jason was very, very
right,
very good at that. But I remember during the your segment, he invited everybody in to sit in the studio and watch you created this special performance that just very, very sadly did not make it into the final cut of the movie. It was this beautiful basically a one-man show. It was incredible.
It was just really, it's very abstract, and he wanted something a little bit out there. I've never seen all of it. I've never seen. Maybe I saw like a few seconds of it. A while ago, I'm terrible with time. He did contact me. He said, would you mind if I use that in another movie? I said, oh sure, just let me know if it ever gets done.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe someday I will see it. But I remember you being in the shadows watching me do this.
Yeah, stuff. Yeah. I was behind the camera. I took a lot of pictures. I have so many pictures. Yeah. And it was really surreal. Some of it was funny. Some of it was really kind of scary.
It was fun. Yeah, I did the whole thing with phones. Remember?
Yeah, yeah. And then the sheet, the shrouded sheet that kind of looked like a dancing ghost. And
so not too long ago, I was in my basement, which is all my theater stuff, and I came across this container, and I opened it up, and all of that, the things I had brought for that shoot were in it, and I said, "Oh, I have to keep it. I have to keep this intact because I still want to play with those ideas. They're so much fun." So, yes, I still might do something with them in the future. Yes.
Okay. That whole experience, that it was about 5 days in Santa Barbara, and it was wonderful having everybody there. And then I'll move the time forward about a year, and we got invited to premiere the movie at San Diego Comic-Con at the International Film Festival. And so I'm going to put this on the camera. There's that. Remember there. So we go to the International Film Festival, San Diego Comic Con, and we had a booth there, and you were dressed in your you created, since this is 40 years later, and you created this.
I have the hat that I created that was built for me. Jason.
Oh yeah, you have the hat still?
New, kind of improved Zebtron outfit, and it took many tries until he was pleased with it.
Yeah, remember that? Yeah, we went back and forth, and then here you are in the. We did a lot of interviews, and what was crazy. Look how great you look, dude! And then you wore those incredibly uncomfortable dark goggles that you couldn't see for 3 days. For 3 days.
I felt like I was almost blind.
I know, and I kept saying, take those off. And you said, no, I'm an actor. I'm professional. This is the character. And I was saying, oh, come on, dude. But you kept them on, and I have to, I got to give you credit. There's your helmet, everybody. Joel Zebtron's wearing the helmet. And,
the artist.
Okay, 1 second. Here. 1 second. Okay, come on. I want you to see this. Hey, you guys got to see this. See this helmet. And Susan has come in, Joel. And
hello, Susan.
Yeah, Susan's here. There she is.
Hi, Joel. Nice to meet
And
you.
then look at Joel's wearing the helmet that he wore.
Goodness.
So this is the outfit that he had right there. Isn't that fun?
That's awesome.
So Susan's doing a bunch of other stuff, but I wanted her to say hi. So here, I'm going to pop in here. There she is.
Hi, Joel.
And one of these days,
We'll
going to
meet you in person.
You're going to meet me and her in person.
Yeah.
Thank you, Susan, for
You're
coming
welcome.
in. So, and the Pop's running around.
Yeah, our dog's got some of her crazies out.
Okay, that's wonderful. All right, so I'm going to flip it around. I love that you still have that helmet, dude. I love it.
Oh, I don't know how much detail you can see, but the artist Rich Hauk, who created this for me, really took a lot of time, and these are all like computer parts. Yes, it was. Yes, no, I would never get rid of this now. And I brought something else. Oh, this goes back 40 years to.
Oh, remember, I don't even have one of those. You have the Secret City badge. During the Secret City here, let me show you the cover of the book again. And you see the badge, there it's hidden under the 1 second here. For those of you on YouTube, I'll use this to point. The badge that he's holding up was hidden under that right there in the wrinkle of my uniform. But I was remember that we were before Madonna and all the rock stars wore the headset. That Jerry Musser put a headset on me, and he was like a trendsetter because no one did that. But it was just a prop. It would have been a good practical microphone for the show, but the microphone was actually, remember, was hidden behind the badge.
Yes.
Remember that?
And
so here, show the badge again. I'm going to pull out for folks there you go, YouTube and Facebook to see.
And with mine, they put the microphone. They put a little hole in one of the sections here. I don't remember what it was, and they stuck the microphone in it. So when I wore it, it was my microphone. They wouldn't let me keep that.
Oh, hey, Jason wants you to put the badge on the helmet like it was in the movie. Put the badge on the helmet right there. Just hold it. There you go. They're getting a kick out of that. That's wonderful. Oh, that's great. Jason's he's a crack up. You cracked me up, Jason. Okay, let's do another quick while we're here having a little reminiscent talk. Joel and I are we're gonna talk for a few more minutes, and then I'm gonna do a drawing. I'm gonna draw Bobtron. We did about 20 years after the show premiered, which Joel and I are in agreement. It premiered sometime, and Jason, this is good for you to know. It's not correct in Google. It's not September 2nd. But, I mean, that's good as date as any to celebrate the 40th anniversary. And thank you, everybody that's making comments and saying, 40 years anniversary. It was, but I'm not sure the date. I should find out from the, historical records of Maryland Public Television. But I believe it was late June that we started, actually, because we were, during the summer, it was during the summer that we were getting mail and we were corresponding with kids. So, that's the best of my memory. Okay.
The only other story I want to tell real quickly is that at the end of the filming, John, the producer, gave us a great big party, and they had all these huge television sets with all the different episodes, and all the students were there who were in the club. And my wife and I came in, and nobody said anything to me. I was dressed in a suit. And it occurred to me as I was leaving that none of those students, the art club kids, had ever seen me out of costume. So I was always in makeup, either as Metaman, who had all these beards and goatees, or the robot. And it was only as I was leaving that someone said, "Oh, there's Joel," because I thought, why doesn't anybody like me anymore?
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's Metaman. That was a story that you told on the movie. It was great. So here we are. When surprise, 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 we won the award for best documentary, and then we actually gave. Let me see if I can zoom out here. There's Dan Frega. We're on the stage there, and we accepted the award. And the idea was that everybody would say a little bit about their experience of you and I, being in the Secret City television series, and then Tim, Dan, and Jack, and everybody else talking about their experience of growing up with the show. But I started it, of course, and I'm Mr. Chatting Chatterbox. So I don't know. Did you have time to say anything at the awards?
I think I said a little bit. There are so many wonderful things already that had been said, but it was a really lovely moment. It was a really lovely moment too.
I'm so glad we got to share that together. We have a group scene when we got the award, and I actually have a little trophy here. I don't know if you've seen this, Joel, but here I got this. This is here's my 2 prize trophies that we have, and I'll see if I can put it on let me raise this camera up here. So here is can you see that?
Oh,
this is
cool.
This is the best documentary, The Secret Cities from the San Diego Comic-Con. And it's wonderful. Isn't that cool? And then, of course, you've seen this dozens of times, my Emmy here from the Imagination Station. So I have these 2 on my desk now, so I can enjoy them. And I love that view here. Let me zoom in here and focus it so you can see it. So we have Joel and I right there. There's the producer director, Jason Brown. There's Ken Welsh, executive producer. Hi, Ken. There's Tim Decker, former Disney artist. There's Robert Newstead. Let me zoom in closer so you guys can see it. You zoom in on the phone here. Here's Robert Newstead, co-creator of Imagination Station, and he actually conducted a lot of the interviews when Jason had to go with his wife for their birth of their child. That for the last 2 days, Robert was the one who sat in the interview chair and did he's interviewed hundreds of people during his career as a producer for he's worked for ABC and NBC, CBS, Discovery Channel, and all kinds of networks. There's Dan Frega. He was a guest us with 3 days ago. Dan Frega back there. Then here's 2 of the wonderful associates of the production, and it was great. Any last words on your experience at the Comic-Con or producing the Secret City movie?
It was just so much fun to be in the company of all of those very wonderfully talented, amazing individuals, and the whole experience, and winning. That was what was really kind of wonderful for you and for all of us. No, it was just one of the highlights of my life. It was so much fun, and it was a big party, and we celebrated. It was fun. It was so beautiful out there.
Well, here, Jason, of course, Jason Schiller, our turbo fan and the minutia detail man. Jason, we love you, dude. Say hi to your kids. I spent the whole day with his daughter Olivia and him at the HanaCon and just enjoyed him enormously. Uh, but he's saying that filming started July 9th, right? And that makes sense right after 4th of July. That's right. We were doing rehearsals right before 4th of July. I remember that now. The first club day was filmed or taped. It was taped, right? August 13th. That's interesting. So, okay, I'm going to go along with Jason. You know, the show was being so it was being broadcast during August. I thought it was late July, but same difference. All right, people are saying that we should draw the trophies. And any last comments? Any last location checks for Joel? Joel, I hope you stay on for we're going to do about a 15-minute drawing. Can you hang out with us?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. So we're going to go to our drawing. This is Joel, get this. Okay. Oh, I have a story that you guys got, and Joel, I know you remember this. Hold on, I got to double tap this. He says double tap the screen. Hey, thank you, Joe. Of course, Jason showed me how to get the text shrunk down. You double tap the screen. Okay, thank you. Okay, remember in 2019? It was summer camp. You were teaching drama at our summer camp. I was teaching drawing, of course, and you were teaching drama. We had Murphy teaching musical theater, and you were teaching improv, I think. And we had we had a sculptor. It was just it was a fine arts cat. We had like 200 kids, and it was wonderful. And I was on day number 199, the night before our first day of art camp. And we had, all the artists and everybody staying at my house in Texas. And it was just this wonderful chaos. We went to Costco and we got 2 truckfuls of supplies for all of us for the week. Do you remember that?
Oh, definitely,
okay,
yes.
So we go on, and then the next morning, my friend and associate Ken comes up and says, "Hey, how'd the live go yesterday?" Do you remember that? Remember, I had forgotten to do my 200th day live, and I was devastated. I was so bummed, and everybody was like, "Oh," because it was such a big part of my life doing those lives every day, and it was 199 days, and it started. I believe it started when I was in India, when I was at the Taj Mahal. I did the first day because I was so inspired by all the culture and the architecture. So you came up to me because I was really bummed, and you said, "Hey, you got to look at the big picture, Mark. You did 199 days. I mean, that's incredible. Look what you did, and you can give an example to your viewers how you picked up and you carried on. You kept going. You didn't let this stop you." And which meant a lot to me. And then you mentioned something. Hey, how can you turn this into something positive? And then your idea was you should write a book. You should do a book about it. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And then I don't know if you've seen this, but check this out. This is because of that comment you made. This is the book. It's a book out. It's a 250 pages. It's a book. And it's obscure. It's self-published, but isn't that fun? 190 days of drawing from 2019. I just had to share that with you. Isn't that cool?
That's great.
So right now, the point of all that was that I'm starting again. It's taken me a couple years to get up the gumption to try it again, and I'm at day 236.
Wow.
This year, 236. Isn't that wonderful? And
wow.
I have to give credit where it's due. A huge influence to that is Susan being in my life. She's just so inspiring. You know how it is when you have a love in your life, and how it helps define and it helps focus everything that's important in your life. So thank you, Susan. If you can hear me, she's out in the other room with the dog. All right, so we're gonna do a little drawing together here. And Joel, you can just sit there and heckle us. And this is our day 200. I'm trying to get this so that the folks on YouTube can see it and I can see it too. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this up. Yeah. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm talking to myself as always. Do you remember when I was answering John when I had those things in my ear during production and John Price was giving me direction? during the show, and I would answer John in when we were live taping, and no one knew who I was talking to. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And I did the same thing with Robert Newstead on the Secret City. And we couldn't shut down the production. We did, but we really tried to avoid it because it took so long to reset the cameras and the tape. Remember that? So we would just bulldoze through mistakes. We'd try to make them into part of the show. Do you remember that?
Yes. It says that you only have 4 minutes left. Is that true?
Oh, wait a minute. We have 4 minutes left of what the?
Yeah.
Wow. No, we have about 8 minutes left. But
Okay,
let's get going. We're going to draw a robot. Now, this robot right here, this is a robot that here, 2 dots straight across. We're going to draw a foreshortened square. You remember this? And I'm going to see if I can zoom in just a little bit so you can see it. We did about 10, 15 years after the Secret City, we did a small series of 3 called the New Secret City Adventures. Okay. Oh, I have 4 minutes before Instagram drops, so I'm going to draw this fast. We have about 3 minutes. Okay, guys, we're just going to draw the robot little face here. This is Bobtron, and my brother Carl played Bobtron. Bobtron was our, look at this. Bobtron was our Zebtron's cousin in the New Secret City Adventures. And so we had the little Bobtron character here. Now, this is my cartoon version of Bobtron, of course. So there's our little robot guy. And we're going to be, it's going to be knocking off, but I just wanted to get a little sketch in here. And I'll do a little more detail on this, and we'll post it. So anyways, I'll add more shading to this, and I'll post the final version. You guys can add more detail. I want to take this time to thank my dear friend and amazing co-star and director and host and artist, theater, Joel Gori. Hey, Joel, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. And it was wonderful hearing all these comments, reading all those comments. Thank you so much.
Oh, we have people saying come back in part 2. I'm going to get him to come back in a couple months. All right, guys, stay cool, stay creative, stay joyful. Practice completely random acts of wonderful hospitality. Do you like that little comment, Joel? And the world needs more happiness more than ever. The world needs more joy. So draw a cartoon every day. And I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Day 237 is tomorrow. We're right now at 622,000. Our viewership is just skyrocketing on my data ports. It's just wonderful. So bye, everybody. Thank you, Joel. Love you, man.